last video, we discussed how to access Prowise Presenter 10. In this video, we're going to be focusing on how to save a file and what all is in the file folder icon. Here I have a lesson that has already been created. If you've watched the last video on how to access Prowise Presenter, you know that I went to my.prowise.com and chose a lesson to import. For those who maybe missed that video, all I did was I went to the top right-hand corner of my Presenter 10 screen to the 3 lines. I selected My Prowise, which redirected me to my.prowise.com, from which I chose a file. I want to take a look at this file folder icon located in the lower left-hand corner of your screen. When selected, I have multiple menu items to choose from. I can start a new Prowise Presenter file. I can open up New Pro Quiz, which will be a video you can find later on. I can open. When I select Open, I have the ability to search through my private folder, all of my private folder files, as well as my school folder files, and Community. I also have the ability to go to Recently Opened. I used this one when I went to go back and work on a file that I was working on previously, but don't want to have to go through all the steps of going into my private folder, finding the folder that I placed it in, and opening up the file. I can simply select Recently Viewed or Recently Opened, and that will bring me to a screen showing all of the individual files that I have recently opened. You also have the ability to share lessons. We'll get into sharing lessons here in a moment. You can favor lessons as well. So if you have a lesson that you use every single day, maybe it has to do with taking attendance or lunch count, or maybe it's your daily math activities or calendar activities. You can favor that lesson and search just through your favorites, knowing that that will be in that folder. Quick and easy access. Back down into that file folder, so we just were talking about open. I have Save and Save As. Now it's important to know the difference between Save and Save As. Save As is when you are very first saving a file. The first time you're going to be giving it a name, you're going to be giving it a destination place, such as your private folder, your community, or your school folder. Save is the option that you will choose as you're working on a file. You've made changes, you want to save them, just select Save. So again, Save is for a pre-existing file that you're adding to or taking away from. You've made some sort of change, you can just select Save. Thinking about this Prowise lesson that I have on my screen right here, I have yet to save this. This is my first time, I'm opening it and viewing it. Now I want to save that to my folder. What I would do again is File Folder, scroll up to Save As. I'm going to select Save As. It already brings me into my private folder. You will always be directed first to your private folder. You can go to the bottom, you see Add New Folder. I could add new folder. When I select that, it gives me the opportunity to rename this folder. So I could say my.prowise lessons and select the green check mark. Now I can click on that file folder and it brings me into my.prowise lessons. You see that it's empty. From here I can add another subfolder if I needed to, math, language arts, science, or I could simply place here, and that's found in the lower right hand corner. If I select place here, I need to give this lesson a name. Now, I've given it a name, but Prowise asks that you give it a description as well. This is a description to help you remember what is involved in this lesson. Once you've added a description, you can go to the right-hand side, go down to the bottom, and select Save As. In the top right, I see my notification bell. It has the red dot. There a moment ago, I saw the progress bar of it being saved. Now, if I were to X out of that file, it's gone. I am brought to a clean, brand new presenter file page. Next, I'm going to show you how to open that file. I can go down to that file folder icon. I'm going to select Open. From here, I see my Prowise lesson that I just saved. I can select that. I can also go to Recently Opened, and I see that Prowise lesson there. Simply click on that lesson, and again, top right, my notification bell has the red dot. I see the progress bar of that lesson loading. And now I see my lesson is fully loaded. Going back down to that file folder icon, let's take a look. We've talked about creating a new file. We do have the opportunity to create a new quiz, open a file. We've also discussed save and save as. Export. I can export this file as an interactive whiteboard file, or I can export file locally. So what I can do is I can export interactive whiteboard file. When I select that, I need to give it the presenter lesson a name and a description. Once I've done both of those, I can select Export. You'll notice in the top right hand corner, my notification bell has the red dot letting me know that I am saving my file and that it is completely saved. You'll notice down in the lower left hand corner that I now have this file, this presenter file, saved as a PDF. And from there I can open. If I go back to my file folder, I see that I have the ability to import as well. If I select import, I'm given many different options of files that can be imported. I have a PDF, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Microsoft. I do have the ability to import a Smart Notebook file, but please note that there will be some reconstruction to that file that will be needed. I can also browse my computer for which file I would like to upload or import. I can add that file to the current file that I'm looking at, so the Prowise Numeracy lesson. I can open the file in a new Prowise Presenter file, or I can save that file in my documents within Presenter 10. Back down to that file folder. I have the ability to start collaboration, meaning what I can do is I can share what I am working on with a fellow teacher, with another student, with a family, and we can both be annotating and working on the same file at the same time, very much like a Google document. I would stop collaboration, or I can invite more participants. So the file folder, as you can see from this video, holds a lot of power. The ability to create a new file, the ability to review files and save, import, and export, and share. Also, that file folder icon holds the ability to start a collaboration. Hopefully this has given you a good overview of that file folder icon. We'll be diving deeper into each of these as our lessons continue.